here's my thing about teams that just break out, right? A few years ago, we had the Texans with CJ Stroud. They went bottom of the barrel to divisional round game. Last year, we had the Commanders. Oftentimes, you see it. Once a year, honestly. Once every few years, you see a team that just skyrockets out of nowhere. Commanders wore that last year, but I do think the Commanders were lucky last year. They had a lucky season. They had a lot of things go their direction, and they caught fans off guard, which brought them that underdog mentality and gave them momentum going into the playoffs. Don't forget, momentum is a real thing in the NFL. Being in the right place at the right time, that is a real thing when it comes to the NFL. But my question is, what happens when that dies off? What happens when you don't have the momentum? When you don't have the underdog mentality? And you're expected to show up consistently and be a contender? You know, and I think the Commanders are in that weird place right now. Last year, they had so much going for them. Jaden Daniels, balling out. Offense was moving at an accelerated pace. Terry McLaurin had 13 touchdowns, second most receiving in the league. Defense was not doing too bad. And they caught some decent matchups in the playoffs. You played a hard team in the Bucs in the wild card, won a big game there. Then you caught a really banged up, injured Lions team where both coordinators were headed off to other jobs afterwards. They looked a little bit disinterested in the game, and you just kind of squeaked past the Detroit Lions, made the conference championship, and get slapped up by a much better Eagles team. That's where the Commanders were last year. But now the light was on them. Now it's like, hey, you got to show up and perform. Hey, you got to be a consistent team. We expect you to be a contender this year. Maybe they're not all that. Maybe they're not. I'm a heavy believer in Jaden Daniels. I'm a heavy believer in what they've done, bringing back Terry McLaurin, helping him up, supplying him with a few weapons in the offense. But I don't think the Commanders are on par with the beasts in the NFC. Obviously, the Packers, the Eagles, the Rams, they're floating in that 49ers range. I just don't think that they're up there with the upper echelon teams in the NFC or the NFL. Now, a positive going their direction, Jaden Daniels is elite. You can fall back on the fact that you have a franchise quarterback in Jaden Daniels. But the roster itself, it just doesn't stack up against the best teams in the NFL. The team is old. They're the oldest team in the NFL. And I don't think that provides sustainability for a team to contend year after year after year. The defense got walked over. Packers put up over 400 yards of offense and 6.4 yards per play. And they missed a few big-time shots down the field. O-line looks horrendous. Defense, below average. You got a franchise quarterback. You got a receiver that's aging as well. Debo looks great. I'll give him that. But I just don't think they have it. You know, this is screaming wild card knockout to me. Maybe it's a week 2 overreaction. Maybe it's a short week and I shouldn't jump to conclusions. But I've seen it as a real thing in the NFL. Look at the Lions. Their first year of success, I think 2023. Right? They're riding this huge, happy wave. They're the underdogs. The league is cheering for them. Yes, sir. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Lose in the playoffs. They come back the next year. All right, this is our year. We got a consistency. They add some weapons. They're moving. Yes, sir. We're building. Lose a really bad game to the Commanders when we're banged up. Now the wave is gone. Now the Lions are expected to be consistent. And so far, I know it's been 1 week, but the loss of their coordinators, the loss of that offensive line, it looks like it's hurt them. And you're wondering, like, was it the momentum of the moment? Think about the Bengals with Joe Burrow, right? The year that they went to the Super Bowl, they were riding some crazy momentum. Joe Burrow, Cincinnati, Houday. Like, it was their year, right? And then you meet a really good Rams team that is set up. You got the Triple Crown with Cooper Kupp. You got Matthew Stafford Ball and Aaron Donald. You lose in the Super Bowl. Probably not going to get back with this team. So again, my whole point, and I've kind of ran in a circle just now, but momentum is serious in the NFL. Momentum at the right spots going into the playoffs can mean a lot more than people give it credit for. It can mean even more than talent, than X's and O's. If you've got that underdog killer mentality behind you, where fans of other teams are hopping on the hype train and cheering for your players and for your team, that can mean a lot and lead you a lot longer of a way than if you didn't have it. And I'm just a little bit concerned about the Commanders. Just a little bit. But I wouldn't be worried about Jaden Daniels because he played a really good Packers offense. Packers team, Packers defense. He's fine. He's a franchise quarterback. Wasn't his best day, but by no means did he look completely terrible. So I think they're fine. He showed me enough. He's poised, calm, collected. I made a video earlier last week after his game against the Giants. He's a franchise guy, a generational talent. Wouldn't worry about him, but as a team, your average age is above 28 years old. I'm concerned.